All right, should be up and running here. Let me put in the symbols here for today's trades. We did the Geo, just finished that up just now. Also did the QRTEA, and that's it. There were some interesting things. A lot of things didn't give entries though, so no trades on them. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for January 28th, 2022. Qs up 3.14%, SPY up 2.47. All right, IWM we take a look at, also up 1.91. A couple days ago, had a market wrap titled "More Choppiness Ahead," and what that means doesn't. It's not always clear to everyone. I don't think choppiness is self-explanatory, and in everyone's version or image of choppy trading it can be a little bit different. What I mean by that is just a lack of a continuous move, a lack of a continuous trend. That a lot of engulfing bars, so you get a wide range red bar followed by a wide range green bar. So there's just a lack of follow through, okay? And the reason that we started to anticipate that is because we had a downtrend that broke. That's fine. That in itself doesn't necessarily mean choppiness ahead, but what I noticed the most was that we tried to make a new high in this new hourly uptrend, and then there was no follow through. It led to a new low in the trend, right? Because this was the previous pivot, and it went down and broke it. So that means there isn't enough bearishness to keep this bearish move going. There's not enough bullishness to start a new trend. So a lot of back and forth. And this 20 MA, as you can see, has gotten very, very flat. Okay. So what do we do when we run into this situation? Okay. Now, when we're in this situation where we're starting this uptrend, it's hard to know that we're going to go into kind of a sloppy type of consolidation. That you can't identify until after the fact. But now that now that we have it, right, we do know what the range is to work with. Okay. So here's the sideways trend. Okay. The hourly that we've been in. Remember what I said about choppiness. Wide range green bars, followed by wide range red bar, followed by wide range green bar, right? So you can see today's bar completely engulfing the previous day's range back up at the high of this red bar, right? And this red bar, right, was challenging this wide range bottoming tail and green bar. So, you know, it's different than when we were bearish and just red, 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 red. Or, you know, there are times when we are bullish. I would say we weren't really that bullish there, but let's say here where it's a clear uptrend, green, 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 right? So now what do we have? And these bars are a lot bigger. When they're smaller bars too, right, that is a much more controlled trend, whereas right now we have a lot more kind of whippy back and forth, okay? So that's definitely what we saw today, because yesterday was pretty bearish. We were looking lower right in the morning and then rallied hard and then stayed bullish for the rest of the day. Okay, just as far as the intraday. Now on the hourly though, as you can see, we've gone pretty sideways. Okay, so for Monday, all right, over the high, this pivot here that we've been using on the hourly now is really less of a pivot, especially if we get a retest first, maybe on Monday, and then Tuesday we break above or something like that. But above the range, we will be looking to be bullish, as we could have as a weekly kind of buy setup. It's pretty deep on the buy setup, monthly kind of buy setup as well. But we can look to be bullish as long as the hourly trend is maintained. And then underneath today's low, bearish, okay? I think the easier call, or the call to have more conviction with, is underneath today's low, bearish. Okay, whether we sell off or we gap down, however we accomplish that, yeah, that would be, I think, the bigger potential move. As we move up here, I think we are going to run into kind of some resistance on the way up, and we do have a bit of a broken weekly now. So I think that's also going to put a damper on the move back up. Okay? All right, let's go over the plays from today. QRTEA. So this play on the QRTEA started right off the bat because I like the gap quite a bit. I like that gap down. I like the weekly as well. Nice larger time frame rolling over. Okay, so I like this play a lot. So that's why I'm playing it aggressively first at the open. Okay, so then underneath that bar, stop above it. Okay, you got tails on both sides, just playing it that way. Okay, I had a call on it to play underneath this space as well as an ad. All right, didn't trigger. Then we moved up, and then, excuse me. Sorry about that. We started to come back into the range that I wanted to play it in, back into the area there, and looking weaker again. Bit of a sell setup there on the 5. Okay, so as it was breaking back down, then I did the ad there. Okay, and I just used this failed 2-minute buy setup as the place where the stop went. Okay, so right there, and then we broke below. So nice start to this play. I think some people did really well. I know some people did a lot better than I did on this play. There was the entry, and I wanted this. I was looking for something closer to 560. Okay, and it looks like it got to 575. All right, so you could say it's close, but for me, because of the size of the stop being about 15-16 cents, that's a whole nother R. Okay, so it just didn't get to the target, and then as the market ripped, this took it with it. So that was tough. If you were in the room with me on the mic, you know that I definitely had a hard time with this. I kept looking at it thinking, okay, if we get a pivot, maybe we can tighten it up, because this was up pretty decent. But I was looking for the bigger target. And so sometimes when you look for the bigger target, right, you're going to also end up, giving the play back. Okay. And I was not expecting the market to rip as much as it did, or for this to be as impacted by it as it was. So it definitely stopped out right there. Okay. The other thing about adding to the play, when you add to the play, yes, you can turn a winner into an even bigger winner, right? But my original stop was up here, which actually would have got taken out anyway, high of the day. But, maybe if I had killed it here, that was still profitable for the initial play. Okay, but when you add to it, you're definitely tightening up on the stop. You're lowering the stop in the case of a short. So there is a chance, that higher chance that gets hit. Okay. Overall, I don't really feel like this was a mistake. I don't feel bad about it, that because it was a mistake. It's just hard to see something kind of up as nicely as it was, and then not get to target, and then kind of let it stop from there. So that definitely had its impact on me, and I kind of had to just kind of force myself to focus a little bit. So that was a challenge, definitely on that, because I definitely was looking for, much, much bigger targets on this, because it was gapping underneath all of that. Looked great on the weekly. So that I was expecting big targets for. Okay, but shortly after that stopped out, went after the Geo next. Geo was a 5-minute base breakdown on something showing relative weakness. 20 MA caught up here. It was pretty kind of sloppy for the most part, but extreme relative weakness. Market was trying to rally back up to the highs while this was breaking down at the lows. Now, this was not an easy hold at all on the Geo. We did kind of take some early just to lock it in as a free play, basically. And then once we got a little bit more on the back half, that was pretty okay. The next piece came out here over 42, and then the last piece we just took over 45. Okay, and it was on this initial breakdown. So, this I am fine with. I know I overmanaged it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't really much else out there that really looked like a nice downtrend. And especially after the first, market rally, I wasn't really looking for, something long. Because so after a big move up like that into resistance, this is about where we got in the Geo. I didn't really want to be chasing something long at that point. So I was looking for relative weakness, and that was the kind of the only thing out there. Okay, so yeah, kind of made something out of nothing, or just found something that an outlier, which is more or less what we're always trying to do, um, and then just let it take its course. It was definitely on its own page today, and that's what we're looking for. So I think overall, I think it's fine. That situation where you're looking for the bigger target, comes all the way back and gets you is tough. It's tough. I don't expect anyone to, no matter how many times it happens, to necessarily like it. So, and especially on that one, because I got the initial play and then did the ad. Yeah, I had kind of high hopes for that and bigger targets in mind. So, but I mean, that was fine. I mean, it takes out the stop. It's just like any play that doesn't get to the target, and then from there, I didn't try to come back to it, didn't try to scalp it, didn't try to flip it or anything. Although I guess, and depending on where you got it, a flip might have worked okay. I just kind of moved on to the next trade. So hopefully, those of you in the room, because I was kind of bummed out, and someone said, well, the reason that you're bummed out is because you don't take a lot of stops, and for me, I'm used to it or something. I know they're trying to make me feel better because people in the room are all really supportive, but it happens, and the way that you kind of deal with it, even if you decide, what, I'm done for today and I walk away, I'll trade again on Monday, that's completely fine too. I know for me, I'm not, when that situation happens, or if I get a little bit off balance or a little bit tilted, I'm not going to just start taking trades that don't make any sense, or just purely out of emotion. So I know I can stick it through and just kind of regroup. But that kind of stuff is just going to happen. And nobody really likes being put in that situation, right? So, hopefully if you're in the room and you see that happen to me live sometimes, it's just, confirmation that, we're real traders and we're going through real trades and real emotions, and we all have to kind of figure out how we deal with them, right? Okay. All right, so that was the day today. Made a little bit on the Geo. QRTEA was kind of a heartbreaker, just was up nicely and then reversed hard without much chance to trail, unless you did like an arbitrary, like kill it at break even or something, which I try to not do. I think what's most interesting going into next week will be the market, right? It really has been the end all be all for this week. So that's also led to a lot of things being sloppy and choppy as well. But for next week, how does the market resolve all of this that it's been trying to shake off and trying to work itself out of? We'll see. Okay, but just going to let this be a range for now. I think if we break above, it's a little bit harder call to be bullish, but definitely if we take out today's low, all up bearish. Okay? All right, guys, have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you on Monday.